Welcome back to today's sad reality. I'm about to, not David anyone, whatever. Usually I start new stuff, but I'm like, honestly, screw it, why not? I'll just do something the exact same. But so I got up this morning, and immediately my boss is like, hey, I wasn't able to get a hold of someone, would you mind coming into work today? Oh, this is so laggy, oh my gosh. This is so peak, though. Yeah, I wanted a more, like, chill game to play anyways, but I was talking about this, because I think it's more of a, I'm not sure the best way to say it, bit of a goofier topic, we'll say. Oh, look at this lag. Oh, the frames. 32 frames in the upper right corner of my screen. I'm surprised this is, like, it's not working in the slightest. It's literally just OBS running and this game. That's how bad my laptop is. But anyways, what I was going to talk about this morning, it's a bit of a darker topic, I'd definitely say. And definitely, I'm not sure if existential is the right word. In fact, I don't know very many words to apply to stuff. But, there's a chicken here. Same like the Minecraft movies, like chicken. Thank you, Jack Black. Even the dying animation is slow. That's crazy. Anyways, so what I'm gonna talk about is kind of this idea of who's going to live on into like just the rest of life, you know? I'm religious, I think a lot of people are religious. But kind of the sad truth of everything is not everyone's going to be there when you're older, or if you are religious, and you're not going to see everyone in like the afterlife, you know? Um, I believe in heaven, God, all those other things. And to me, I guess it's just one of those weird things of like, why do we put so much time into people that aren't going to live on, I guess? Like, for example, everyone's got like their own friends and stuff, but like, I'm sure not all your friends are religious, you know? And you kind of realize that, well, not everyone's going to be there at the end of the day. Um, oh, look at the movement speed. It's finally much better. That's so peak. Still sucks the frame rate's 30 right now. This is so mid. Just exploring out. There's actually achievements in this game for like finding a bunch of snow piles, digging them up, finding chests and whatever. Which I've already done. I've already 100% of this game. In fact, most of the games I'm playing here, I've actually 100%ed. There are a few exceptions. Like I played Dungeon Defenders the other night, and I hadn't quite 100% of that one. Also, I'm realizing I feel like my voice is really deep this morning, and that's literally just because, for starters, A, it is this morning, and I more or less just woke up. My boss was like, hey, I need you to come in early, and I'm like, I didn't record a video last night. I really need to record a video. But, I guess the other thing, too, that sucks, I'm going to leave more questions and answers, and I'm going to try to keep this quick as well. But, so trying to rationalize why we care about people, I feel like it's a really weird thing to do, because I feel like it's almost inherent. It's like, there is a person, therefore we should care, right? Whereas for some people that's not always inherent. I think a lot of people, especially when they get to my age, it's just like it's me versus the world, baby. But when you're younger, you're taught how to share. You know, it's like one of the first things you learn is like, oh hey, if you don't share with your sibling, you know your parents are gonna get mad. So you gotta care about your sibling at least. Okay, you go to a summer camp and you know you don't want to pass the dodgeball to people because you know they're just normal, you know, like they're not good at dodgeball or you just don't want them to play or whatever. It's kind of funny. I when I was younger, I got bullied a lot back in like elementary school. I don't know if it lasted into middle school. I want to say it did. I can't remember. But then back in like summer camps and stuff, I was an absolute menace. Not just to like other kids and my sister as well. It was like the typical like no girls allowed kind of thing as a joke, even though it was literally me and one other girl doing that. But she's a tomboy, so like does that really count, you know? But anyway, so it's kind of like you learn these things like early on in life, you know, like hey, don't be a douchebag to people. And well, that's a word I haven't used in forever. Inventory full. You learn these things early on, so then kind of the argument is what's the end point of that? Like when do you stop caring all of a sudden? Or when is there someone you shouldn't care about? Because strangers are like, okay, well, um, you know, stranger danger. Your parents are like, do not strangers stay away. They're They're weird. They probably do drugs. Don't take candy from them in the back of a van. That would be a bad idea. Although, some people, you know, when you get older and you're just like, hey, it's just me and another guy on a bus, whatever, me and another guy on like a train in New York City. I feel like that's where you just meet some like really interesting personality sometimes. I've never really been in that situation, but I've definitely heard stories of it. Because I do have friends who live over in like New York or places that are more packed, so naturally you do actually have to meet new people, you know. Also, my character is now starving, so I have that as my secondary timer as to when I finish talking about stuff. But that is all to say that there's obviously got to be a limit there. Like, where do you put yourself in danger, where do you not? But then where I'm taking it is, like in the religious aspect, why do we put so much time into the people that aren't going to live on, if that makes sense? Like, you've got many coworkers, for example, and I feel like, you know, it's really fun training someone new. I feel like there's kind of been this running joke, I like my workplace especially, you just put a ton of time into people that are new. And then even afterwards, sometimes it's just like, okay, well now this person's worked here a while, and then there's conflicting personalities or whatever. There's always this sort of like honeymoon period in life where stuff is just really fun, and you know, meet new people, and it's like, wow, this is cool. I haven't had that experience in a while, you know. But never lasts. Everything being really temporary, and I feel like that's really tonight's sad reality. It's temporary everything is. All the good stuff in life, or the quote unquote good, I should say. But yeah, it's not one of those things I really have an answer to, you know, as to why we care up into a certain point, or why we let things bother us when it's just like, okay, well, this is temporary, you know, and we move on. Of course, this is all coming from a 21-year-old, so I have no idea what I'm talking about the vast majority of the time. But if you do actually have any ideas or like any justification to it, let me know. I was actually watching a Wendigoon video the other day, and he brought up, he's talking about, I think it was like the Three Christs of Ypsilanti, or whatever the place is called. I'm gonna mispronounce it. It starts with a Y and like PS something, and I'm like, that's not English. I mean, I guess it is, or it can be said in English, but you know, my point is, like, it's not a normal speech structure. But anyways, like, super late in the video, like, literally 2 hours in, he talks about this guy getting a dollar bill, and, like, he kind of has a breakdown, because he's like, that's the first time someone's cared about this guy who's apparently schizophrenic. He gets a dollar bill. And then he brings up this Bible verse. I don't remember where it is, but it's like, how you treat God is how you treat the least of us, the people that are, like, really struggling, or the poor, and everything else, you know? Gosh, I can't remember where it is in the Bible either. And funny enough, I haven't read too much of the Bible. I don't remember if I've ever read that verse, but, at the very least, I thought that was very interesting. And I think sort of the grand implication is we should care, but not to the point where stuff bothers us when it comes to other people, you know? That's why it's like, if you've got nothing nice to say nothing at all, or whatever. I'm sure you've heard that from your parents a million times. But, yeah, so. That's kind of tonight's sad reality, I suppose, or today's sad reality. I wasn't able to record one last night, because again, my allergies got really bad super late at night, which sucks. Also, can I really level up? Am I able to actually? I can. I haven't maxed this character fully. That's crazy, despite this being like day 91 or whatever. That's just gonna about wrap it up for today's video. So thanks for tuning in to today's sad reality. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow, or tonight, I suppose. I'll probably actually be recording tonight, so have a good one, y'all.